My name is Glenn Eric Larson, the son of Glenn A. Larson, the producer and creator of Battlestar Galactica. I am grateful to Battlestar Raven and Team BSG Viper who are here at Comic Palooza in Texas and are presenting a full-size classic series Viper in commemoration of the 40th anniversary of Battlestar Galactica. As a child actor in the episode of Greetings from Earth, I actually got to get on a classic series Colonial Viper, and it was cool. Richard Hatch, who played Apollo, comes up and says, "Don't touch anything, don't touch anything," and then I utter the immortal words, "It's already been touched. It's broken in a million bits." Well, I'm sure this Colonial Viper is in great shape and is ready to take to the stars. My father had a great love of Colonial Vipers. He loved them so much, he put one in our living room. And then he put me inside it, spliced in some Battlestar Galactica series footage, and voila, we had our very own Battlestar Galactica home movie. I have fond memories of being there in 1978 when Battlestar Galactica was produced. I got to go to the Van Nuys facility where all the effects were made. And I remember being a kid in a toy shop, looking at these technicians take little pieces out of model kits and create these amazing spaceships. We would watch the dailies come in with the model set against the blue screen and photographed with special movie camera developed by John Dykstra that made it all appear like these spaceships were moving. It was an incredible thing to watch. And I remember also another great memory I had was going with my father to a test screening of Battlestar Galactica, where we would find out what people thought of this new show. And I remember given these little gadgets it would have a little dial, and if you set it at the maximum setting, that would show that you really loved the show. Remember my dad telling us, "All right, make sure you keep it at the maximum setting so that it shows that you really love the show." And I often joke that my dad had 9 children so that we could do really well at test screenings. But I remember watching the show, and of course what they did is they didn't have the music done at that time. All they had was this canned music that really wasn't designed for this show, and so it didn't quite fit. And you could tell that there was something missing in this show. And I felt it, and I think that the people reviewing the show felt it. But I also remember that fantastic day when they scored Battlestar Galactica for the first time in the recording studio. And it was unbelievable to watch. And of course, this score was eventually nominated for a Grammy Award. And I believe that was the missing ingredient. And when it was added, when the show was finally debuted, it debuted to 65 million people. That's how many people were watching Battlestar Galactica. It was so big that it knocked out the Emmy Awards and knocked out the release of King Kong on TV. That's how big it was. Not only that, but it stayed a top 20 hit show. A lot of people don't realize that when it was canceled, it was still a top 20 hit show. And eventually what happened was they revived it when the fan mail came roaring in. They revived Battlestar Galactica, and they kept reviving it, and they've been reviving it ever since. Battlestar Galactica was even released in theaters with a special sound system called Sensurround, which was developed for the movie Earthquake. Every time the Battlestar would come by, it would have this big rumbling sound, and it felt like an earthquake. I also had the privilege of acting in Battlestar Galactica. Battlestar Galactica is currently being developed as a major motion picture. I have fond memories of those technicians building the models of the Battlestar Galactica, and I have such fantastic memories of going in to seeing the test screening of Battlestar. Battlestar Galactica has come a long way. Battlestar Raven and Team BSG Viper, may you keep the torch of Battlestar Galactica lit, that the legacy of Battlestar Galactica can continue and inspire fans into the future.